Hi everyone, it's your favourite Atomic Blonde here. It's been a while. I think it's been about a month since I last made a video. I'm normally fairly prepared. I have my slides and bits and pieces, which I still managed to boomer up, but I've literally prepared nothing. I just wanted to jump on and just have a chat with you guys. Life has just got in the way recently. Relatives in and out of hospital. I started a new contract in the last year, which has now gone really, really busy. We've got a launch coming up in June. So yeah, unfortunately, until YouTube's your number one gig, the job that pays the bills has to come first, unfortunately, which has really meant that I haven't really had time to stream. I haven't really had time to watch anything, which isn't me at all. But saying that, there's not a lot out there to watch right now. I just find myself watching Supernatural and Buffy. I was watching Angel the other night. There's the state of modern TV isn't great, as we all know, which is part of the reason why I started this channel in the first place, to moan about it. But anyway, I just want to jump on that. I'm fine. I'm all good. Just incredibly busy right now with the real world, which sucks. But is what it is, isn't it? Right, guys? So so just a bit rambling, I guess. However long I ramble on for. So I don't even know. I mean, gosh, it's been a month. So over the last month, it's been obviously the ongoing saga of my favorites, Disney. Oh man, talk about get your popcorn and roast your marshmallows on the dumpster fire. That is Disney. We had the whole proxy war, and how that's all playing out is really interesting. So obviously the shareholders voted for Iger, but now the shareholders seem to be turning on Iger. It's all very, very strange. They gave him the vote of confidence, and now the shares are going through the floor. But I don't really see what they thought was going to change by keeping Iger in. Conspiracy theories ahoy. I don't really know what to say about that, but it's interesting to watch it all play out. Iger's literally admitted that what's coming out, that they basically put off as long as they can the crap that they made. I said so with Ironheart and Agatha, whatever it's called this week, which no one's going to watch. They'll probably drop them in one go, the same as Echo. I think they probably tested the waters with Echo, and that was probably they thought was the best out of the bunch. So I can only imagine how bad the other two are. We've got the choice of the Acolyte coming up. I can't. If I've got time, but I think it's coming out in June, and like I say, it's the worst possible month for me. I will try and suffer through the first episode and let you know what I think. Pretty much what I did with Ahsoka. I think I was out by episode 3 on that one. But yeah, there's nothing in those trailers that makes me want to go watch The Acolyte at all. And I think it's just insulting that someone who was the personal assistant of Harvey Weinstein gets to be a showrunner. Not saying that she done anything, I don't know, but it was all a little bit dodgy. She must know where the bodies are buried. That's all I can say. Anyway, and then, true Disney involvement, textbook form, we have Doctor Who, which you all know, if you've been on this channel a long time, it's one of my absolute favorites. I love Doctor Who. I dropped out of the Jodie era. I think I lasted 15 minutes of her first episode. I was so excited for the specials, and Ncuti and Millie starting. They looked like they had great chemistry when you saw them interviewed. And it was, it was a real opportunity to give the show a shot in the arm. The specials weren't special. They were mid at best. They were so lazily written, so bad. My bubble got burst on that the first of the specials. By the last of the specials, I'd given up hope. I did watch the Christmas special, not on Christmas Day. I was like, I'm not ruining my Christmas Day. I was having a wonderful Christmas Day, and I'm not doing it to myself. So I think I can't remember when I finally watched it. It might have been in the new year. And again, bad, just bad on so many levels and cringe. So needless to say, as I said, I'm not planning on watching Ncuti's era. And from the reviews and the clips that I've seen, I'm pretty sure I'm not missing much. It's just painful. It's so sad to see that, again, shoehorning a message in there is more important than writing a good story. I really naively thought that a writer of Russell T Davies's caliber and Stephen Moffat, not in Doctor Who, but also outside Doctor Who, there's lots of their shows that I love, that if they want to put the message in there, that they could at least do it subtly and, a bit more allegorically. But no, they've just opted to whack us around the head with it like every other writer on the BBC. So yeah, massively disappointing. I mean, the ratings are out for last night. I thought in my head it might keep it around the 2 million mark because it's a Stephen Moffat episode. So some people might stick around to see what he gives us, whether he's as heavy-handed as RTD. It scraped through. Apparently it's 2,000,004, and that's 2.04 million, not 2.4, 2.04. So that's a drop of nearly 500,000 viewers from last week, I think. And for, again, what I've seen, there was some message in there around faith, I believe, or basically anti-war, which given the current world, I kind of get that. And I can't, there's very few people in this world who are pro-war, so I don't think you can really argue with that too much. But it was just boring by all accounts. And I was kind of tempted. I was like, oh, Stephen Moffat, this might be a bit better. But again, I mean, if the main thing that's come through is it is better than the last couple of weeks, but it's just boring. So those reviews are not enticing me to go watch it, and it's just so heartbreaking to see. If they carry on this trajectory, say Disney just doesn't have the money to keep funding things that people aren't watching. No one watches Star Wars anymore. Marvel's on the cusp. The only thing people are going to be watching from Marvel is Deadpool and Wolverine. And there's only so many times you can do these kind of one-off shot in the arm. They can't, if they keep just rolling out Deadpool films every couple of years, the effect stops happening. So, and all we've got to look forward to there is, as I said, the 2 crappy shows that are left over from last year or the year before, whenever it got finished, and Captain Falcon America Brave New World, is it now? New World Order was a bit too on the nose, and that's probably about its 3rd reshoot. So even if it's good, it's never going to make its money back on its 3rd reshoot. There's a point where you just go, do you know what, let's just bin it and do the tax write-off and write something else. That would be cheaper, but this is Disney all over, isn't it? So just keep setting fire to money. That's all you can do. So pretty much all my favorite IPs are dead now. Star Trek, Star Wars, Doctor Who, basically anything sci-fi. They just removed all the science fiction, and because it's the future, they think science fiction is all around putting in messages about current day, which is bizarre to me. The whole point is is examining. I think that the worst thing with this Star Trek is they've taken all the hope out of it. It was supposed to be an optimistic thing that we've learned. We made our mistakes, and as a race we've learned and moved on from them, and we're better people. And it's more about exploration and growing and expanding our minds and our science. And now it's just all about talking about modern day issues, and again trying to the Federation's collapsed, anything that was good, that we will just take all that out so we can shoehorn in modern problems. So very, very disappointing. But hey, what can we do? I mean, all we can do is vote with our feet, and we are. People are just turning off. You know, you look at all the Nelson's ratings; it's all shows that are 10 years old plus. That you know, we just used to be fun and entertaining. That's kind of all you want, really, isn't it? It's not hard. It's just please entertain me. I mean, I did a review on here a few weeks back on Fallout, and I know that turned out to be quite Marmite, and a lot of people didn't like it because it was stupid or there wasn't much logic to it. I really enjoyed it because, I mean, sometimes, I mean, some YouTubers I absolutely love and I follow, but they just overanalyze everything to the 8th degree. And I guess that's why their job, and that's why they got really popular YouTube channels and they can do it as a living and I can't. But sometimes I just want to watch something and I can just let the stupidness go over my head. It really doesn't bother me. And Fallout was one of those. For me, I just found it funny and entertaining. And yeah, it's a bit stupid, and some of it there wasn't, you know, and I called some of it out on my video, you know, like you go outside for the first time and you don't even check radiation levels, even though it's, you know, there's been an atomic war of some description, whatever. But this kind of stuff, you know, I can overlook. I mean, it's based on a video game, right? It's not exactly a Pulitzer Prize novel. So what are you expecting? But I just found it entertaining. I just let it entertain me and not think about it too much. And I think sometimes if you could just let stuff wash over you, you know, life's a little bit more fun. You want to analyze everything to the 8th degree all the time. You're never going to like anything. And even like some of the best shows, they go, oh, I've just got nitpicks. And it's just like, oh, just let it go. Just let it go. Just enjoy it, for crying out loud. But anyway, especially at the moment, you know, I'd say the world's not a great place, and I'm incredibly busy, and that's part of the reason. I mean, not just time, but I haven't been able to sit down and watch any of my Korean shows because, to be fair, I'm just, yeah, it comes to the end of the evening and sitting there reading subtitles. It's challenging for me right now. So I'm tired, and I'm like having to concentrate and just sit there, and you know, and like, there's still brilliant shows. There's one that's just dropped on Netflix. Is it The 8 Show, I think it's called, which is sort of a Squid Game type-esque thing that I really am desperate to watch. I might even try and watch a couple today. I'm going to go sit out in the garden. The sun is shining here in the UK. We've had almost a week of sunshine, amazingly. That's probably why I'm in such a good mood. Yeah, and try and watch a couple of episodes out in the garden, I think. And let you know what I think. But you've basically got this tower block with like 8 floors, and there's different contestants in 8 floors, and there's these different challenges, and you can make money. But obviously there's like a twist to that, and I think bad things can happen to them and each other. So yeah, I'm really intrigued to watch that one. I still need to finish Parasite the Grey. I am so behind on my shows, it's insane. What I did watch a little while ago, and it sort of came and went, a bit of a fart in the wind, so I don't really know how well it's done or whether it's even going to get a sequel, was the Dead Boys Detective, which is part of the Sandman universe. And you got Ruth, is it Connolly from Supernatural in it. And again, you know, there's absolutely some race swapping going on, and gay lead character. But to be fair, it all worked in the context of the show. And like I say, I never have an issue with gay characters, to be fair. But and it was actually quite a sweet dynamic. There was like, he kind of loves his friend, but his friend's straight, and they're ghosts, by the way. That's why it's called Dead Boys Detective. So they've died. They haven't passed over, and now they help other ghosts resolve their issues so they can pass over. So the whole concept was quite good. I kind of enjoyed it, but I really just couldn't work out who the target audience was, because it's like in the Sandman world. So, but the lead characters in it are all they're supposed to be, they were still at school. So they're supposed to be like 16, 17 maybe, and one died like in the early 1900s, one died in the 80s, and then you have a girl, Crystal Palace. Yeah, I mean that's a place here in the UK. Crystal Palace, it's very strange. She's the character that was race swapped from the comics, and she's psychic, so she can see these boys, and they end up getting involved. But she'd been like possessed by a demon or dating a demon. She didn't realize, and there's some good stuff in there, but but yeah, so the target audience is like young adult, I would say, probably 15 to early 20s. Now, it was pretty gory in places, as you'd expect from a Sandman world, but it was more like, I mean, I'm not offended at all, but I'm an adult, and there was lots of effing and jeffing and a few C-bombs in there. And I'm like, most parents aren't going to want to watch their 14, 15, even 16-year-old kids really watch something, I think, with that kind of language in it. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm naive, I don't know. So I couldn't quite, because like the violence in the language is certainly 18 plus, 100%. But then the lead characters, their ages, the stories that they're telling are very much young adult. So I think even though like most Netflix shows, it was very well made, you know, the aesthetic, the effects, and even the stories, I quite enjoyed each episode, obviously a different case. And there was one where they're stuck in this loop, but this guy keeps murdering his family. This was like quite a dark episode, but really good. But I just cannot work out what the target audience will be, because I think it's too adult for young adult and too childish for an adult. So I don't know whether it'll get a second season. I don't know if it could find its audience. And what really annoyed me actually was it's a very similar aesthetic to the Lockwood and Co. that was aimed at a younger audience and nailed, I think, that younger audience. You didn't have all the language in it, and there was like some violence, but it wasn't gory. And I think it's one of the most upvoted shows on Netflix when you click on it, and yet they cancelled it. So they've then gone and made this, which is effectively the same kind of show, but I can't feel who the audience is. I think they would have been better off making a season 2 of Lockwood and Co. and just kind of figured out what people didn't like about it, or how could they better increase the audience, because it seemed like it was incredibly popular by the people that watched it, which was probably the target age group. I don't know, guys. Sometimes I look at Netflix and just wonder what they're smoking. I have no idea. But yeah, I mean, I think if you like Sandman, you'll probably enjoy it, but I think you will find it a bit childish. And I think that this is I think a lot of shows are like this now, that they're kind of young adult, but the content in terms, I mean, I have to say there wasn't like any sex or heavy like nudity or sexuality in that sense, other than we just know that he would say he died in the 1900s, so it kind of wasn't okay to be gay, so he's incredibly closeted and very uncomfortable with it all. And I thought that's quite an interesting thing to explore if it is younger adults and, you know, they're not quite sure where they are, and help them figure that out. But so it wasn't I don't think inappropriate from that side of things, but it was very gory, and the language was, yeah, strong to say the least. When they dropped a C-bomb, I was like, wow, okay, that's where we're going, are we? So yeah, I mean, I kind of like people to watch it and let me know what you think. Do you agree with me, or do you think I'm just being a bit old-fashioned that, you know, all kids shows have F-bombs and C-bombs in them now? I don't know. Maybe that's what Jen said. Watch, I don't know. But anyway, so yeah, it was quite an interesting one. I'd say I'd be surprised if it gets a season 2, because I'm not surprised. I don't think it's going to find its audience, but we'll see. Whoever that audience is, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I really wanted to go see The Fall Guy. I haven't had a chance. If it's still on next weekend, I'm hoping to go next weekend. I've got a friend staying, so yeah, hopefully we can go see that. Again, I think, you know, generally the reviews are quite good, but the cinema is just dying at the moment. I saw this before I came on stream. I was reading something to say that obviously If has come out, Ryan Reynolds, and that's way down on projections. So I think people have just A, got out the habit of going to the cinema. B, it's got incredibly expensive to go to the cinema, certainly in America. I mean, I'm quite lucky. So my local View is you can do it £5 for an adult, and it's $4.99 or $6.99 if you go VIP, which is pretty blooming good. Obviously, when I go into London, that shoots up to like £17. Or it's £25 when I went to go see Dune 2 in IMAX. So if you're taking a family, that's blooming expensive. But my local cinema, say, is really reasonable, and it's cheaper if you book your tickets online than it is on the day. It's just a 10-minute walk up the road, so it's great. So and that explains just how busy I've been. I can't even go 10 minutes up the road to go see the Fall Guy. But I think cinema and Hollywood have got a real problem. I think people just it's too expensive. People just don't trust they're going to get a good film. If you've basically got enough money to take your family once to the cinema a month, and every month, you know, every time you've gone, you've just been lectured at and preached to, and it's just dire, you're going to find other things to spend your money on. And that might be a subscription service that you can pick old stuff that you know you're going to enjoy. I don't know, but Hollywood is imploding right now. And I think that's called karma, really. You know, they've been so vile to their audiences, or at least 50% of their audiences, for such a long time. And this is the classic Doctor Who thing. Literally before the show came out, like a week, 2 weeks before, we were told, don't watch it, go touch grass, don't let the door hit you on the way out. So we went, fine, we will, but, you know, thanks, all right, we won't watch it. And now, of course, we're bigots because we didn't watch it. So it's the usual trap, right? We get the upfront, don't watch this, we don't want you bigots. And then when we don't watch it, it's like we're a bunch of bigots because we didn't watch it. But I can't believe Disney basically played this game with Doctor Who again. It's not worked out for Star Wars. It's not worked out for Marvel. So what, do you just think because we're British that somehow we're too polite and we're just sit there going, oh, well, we'll watch it anyway. We wouldn't like to offend anybody. Jog on, Disney. It's quite unbelievable. And there's no way, I don't think, because they're already filming season 2, so it's too late to course correct. So it's going to be cancelled after season 2, I reckon. Disney won't be able to forward fund it. I don't think anybody's watching it in America. Can't remember if it was Nerdrotic might have been talking about it, or Midnight's Edge. I can't. No, sorry, it was Doomcock. So take with a gallons of salt. But apparently someone had leaked the ratings in America. It was like 52,000 people. And 73% of them had switched off at some point through the first episode. So this last three quarters of your audience didn't even finish the first episode. So if that is true, which I kind of believe, but, you know, whether the numbers are true, I don't know, but I can easily see that 73% of people switched off. Not only is it a bomb on Disney Plus, it's a bomb in the UK. You know, it's home. It's so far away now from this eccentric alien. And my biggest problem with it, I think, well, apart from the message, is they keep humanizing the Doctor. It kind of started a bit with David Tennant, but he done it very well. And the whole thing with like Eccleston and Tennant was they had PTSD from the Time War. So there was kind of human elements to it that you could relate to. But as it's gone on, and certainly with Ncuti's Doctor, they've just kind of made him human. He's not an alien anymore. And so, you know, he responded in different ways to we did. And there was also like sometimes I think it was a David Tennant episode. I think he might have been with Donna, I think it was, and something bad had happened, but the Doctor was like really excited and bubbly about this and was trying to ask questions, and then they're kind of like they died, you know, or that was it with the Utopia. So he's asking the alien about, and she says it was a conglomerate, and he gets really excited and goes, see, I was right, it was a conglomerate, and they're like, Doctor, everybody died, and he's like, oh yeah, sorry, terrible. And that's more of an alien response, right? He's like very in his head, doesn't think about the emotional piece. Now you've got the Doctor crying every 30 seconds. He's afraid of everything. He's running away. He's dancing. I mean, crying out loud. He's too human. They've just removed all the alien aspects. Well, he's not even Gallifreyan anymore. So, you know, it's like, what the hell? And this is why it doesn't work. It doesn't matter that the guy's black. It actually doesn't even matter that he's gay. But he's actually lost that alien aspect. He's lost that eccentricness. He's lost that I have seen everything. So, and there's almost nothing left to learn. So when he sees something, and he's not come across it before, that excitement that he has is like, it's just all kind of gone. Everything's like kind of one tone, and he just behaves like a human being. And the Doctor was never meant to be human. So, you know, that's one of the fundamental, it's the DNA of the show, and they've just ripped the DNA of the show out. You know, they hardly ever go, you know, to planets anymore. Aliens, everything's pretty much set on Earth, either in the past, so we can go on about racism, or, you know, we go into the future and then we get an allegory about pro-life and pro-choice, and I get it, you know, as a woman, I get it. But should that be in a Doctor Who episode? I don't know, maybe, but not so on the nose, I'd say. I don't know. Yeah, so oh, I tell you what, I did watch, and I loved Late Night with the Devil, independent film with David, is it Dastmalchian? You'd know him from his Polka Dot Man in the Suicide Squad. Excuse me. So it's set in the 70s. It's like a found footage kind of thing. So this show went out on Halloween, and he gets his sidekicks on, and he was sort of high up in the ratings with like Carson and people like that at the time. His stars gradually sort of failing. His wife developed cancer and died, and she was on the show when she was dying, basically, all these kind of things. But he clearly loved her. I mean, the whole thing is like, he clearly loved her. But so he's kind of doing this gimmicky stuff on Halloween, and they end up having this girl on who says she's been like possessed by a demon, and they kind of like, you know, summon we want to speak to the demon, and it all gets out of hand and all goes sideways. It's, you know, kind of like The Exorcist on live TV, and but it's done really, really well. And I know there's a bit of controversy around this because they use AI for some of the effects. And I think, well, hey, look, it's a tool like any other tool. And if they're just using it for effects, how is that any different to CGI? It's computer generated. AI is computer generated. I don't really see how it's any different. I mean, nobody was like, or maybe they were, I just don't remember because I was too young maybe, but there wasn't this whole mass walkout and that CGI was replacing people who made practical effects. You know, that's just the way the world went. You know, we went from practical effects to CGI. We're now kind of going a bit full circle, that we're kind of doing more of a mixture of practical effects and CGI. And now we've got a little bit of AI in the mix. I think for a low budget film, obviously it kept the cost down for them, and actually the effects then worked really well within the context of the film. It was really enjoyable, great little horror film. You know, it's just basically set in a TV studio, so the budget must have been like nothing. And David was brilliant in it, really good, and a good twist. Well, I guess it's kind of twist at the end. It kind of explains how all this kind of happened, and all the way through, you kind of got this skeptic here who's sort of saying like they're pranking you and this isn't real, and it all just gets massively out of hand, and the deaths happen. But it's on Prime at the moment. So if you're Amazon Prime here in the UK, you can watch that. And say I really enjoyed it. You know, there's been a couple, surprisingly, as I reviewed the Immaculate and the First Omen, I enjoyed this more. I mean, it's a slightly different, you know, thing, but I thought very well acted, very well put together. And it looks like a late night talk show from the 70s. The aesthetic is brilliant, done really, really well. So yeah, it really like pulls you into the film, and you're there. You know, there's nothing that happened that sort of took me out of that film at all. So I was really pleasantly surprised how much I enjoyed it, actually. So yeah, go check that out. That's Late Night with the Devil. So I think that's it. I think the only other thing to say is that I saw, as I'm sure you all did, we've got a couple of trailers. So we have got House of the Dragon Season 2 coming next month. I am so excited for that. I will be doing weekly reviews, as I did, 2 years ago now. 2 years when I started my channel. Yeah, I mean, I started my channel And House of the Dragon was one of the first things I reviewed. So, wow, seems like a lifetime ago. Cannot wait for that. And just seeing their trailer next to the Rings of Power trailer was just gold, absolute gold. I didn't watch Rings of Power and I didn't review that. It's just not my, well, even good Tolkien is not my bad. I'm definitely not watching bad Tolkien. I'm sorry, I shouldn't insult him with the name of bad Amazon writing, pretending to be Tolkien. Yeah, but that is going to be a dumpster fire. If they've got any sense, they'll just drop it in one go and just just let the noise go. The best thing, as always, is the comments on the trailer. And somebody put, I can't believe they actually have left the comments open. So see how long that lasts. It's just being ratioed into oblivion, which is hilarious. Which we knew it would. You know, it looks like they're trying to tell a story this season, but they just ain't got the talent. So yeah, roll on season 2 of House of the Dragon. I cannot wait for that. It's going to be so good. And the trailer for the Dune series, I can't remember, they've changed the name. Was it The Prophecy? All about the Bene Gesserit and kind of how they came about to come up with, I guess, the prophecy of the Messiah type being the Kwisatz Haderach. Yeah, so how they came up with the idea, how they put people in place. Again, that's an HBO, or Max as it is now. So yeah, that'll be interesting to see. I mean, I'm not sure if we'll get it over here or what channel it'll be on, because obviously we don't have Max here in the UK. So, but we'll keep an eye on that one. And the great trailer, which is also a bit like, is the final season of Cobra Kai, and they've split it into 3 parts. They are dragging this baby out. So in one way, I'm glad it's not dropping all at the same time, but there's some pretty big gaps between those three chunks. Just release it weekly if you want to, spread it out, dudes. There are some of the Korean shows are weekly on Netflix because they get released weekly in Korea. So just do that. Rather than just giving us like 3 and 3 or something ridiculous. I don't know how long the season is, but man, is it going to be frustrating splitting it over 3 parts. And it's like, oh, it's the last season, but I bet it's going to be a doozy. The trailer looks great. All the seasons have been pretty consistent. I think there's rumors that the girl from Karate Kid 4, is it the next Karate Kid might be in it? Don't know. We'll see. So yeah, really excited for that one too. So yeah, there's a few things coming up. So Deadpool, Wolverine, Cobra Kai, The Prophecy. Yeah, I don't think there's too much on at the cinema to look forward to post Deadpool. Who knows? I feel so sorry for the theatre owners. They have just been shafted left, right, and centre since COVID. So I think a lot of them just seem to be going back to showing old films. I mean, The Phantom Menace done really well at the cinema. That was beating new releases. And that's not the best film in the world, let's face it. It's not, in comparison to the sequel trilogy, it's Oscar worthy, but hey ho. So I think, yeah, we're just going to see more re-releases of the 30th and 40th and 35th, 25th anniversary of films coming up. It'd be great if they put Dread back on at the cinema. I never saw that cinema. I'd love to go see that. And we definitely need a sequel. Oh my God. That was such a good film that done bad at the box office. But when you look what came out that year at the box office, you can see why. I mean, it's like the list just went on and on in terms of the films that came out. I think it was Dark Knight and various other films. So, yeah, but I think that's about it, guys. Like I say, just completely off the cuff, random wittering on about stuff. Unfortunately, as usual, not a lot of positives to talk about, but do check out Late Night with the Devil. I really enjoyed that film. I think it was great. Let me know what you're thinking of, if you've even watched Doctor Who. You got any plans on watching Doctor Who? I'm going to stick to the classics and New Who, and just pick the episodes out of the Capaldi era. There are some great ones. I personally I really loved Capaldi and Bill Potts. I know that's probably the least favorite for a lot of people. I'm not saying the episodes were good, But I love their dynamic. I love their chemistry. And I think if they had had better stories, that could have been such a season. And if Stephen Moffat didn't feel the need to tell us every episode that Bill was gay, we'd established that in episode 1. We didn't need to keep re-establishing it every episode. But I love the character of Bill. I think she gave the doctor a run for his money. I think they had a lovely relationship. And what happened to her in the end was so sad. It was absolutely tragic what happened to Bill at the end. So not a good ending for yet another companion. But yeah, it's a shame. Capaldi in general just didn't get better stories, and I think it's a shame that they didn't get better stories, because that could have been a blind. I think their chemistry could have been a blinder of a series. But anywho, I'm digressing again. But yes, I will be watching my classic Who. I'll be watching my Supernatural. I'll be watching Angel until something good comes out, which could be like never. But anyway, I will try and be back again soon. It's just kind of impossible for me to do any shows in the week at the moment. But if I get the opportunity for a pop chat, I will drop on. And the main thing is just having some good TV to watch. I think that's what I'm struggling with most, even I've got a bit of time. There doesn't seem much to watch. So if you've got any recommendations for me, please put them in the chat. I'd love to know, or in the comments, I should say. Let me know what to go watch, and I'll come back and let you know what I think. So as always, please do like, share, and subscribe. It really, really helps, especially at the moment, because I can't make that much content. So keeping the channel ticking over is really important. So I will hopefully be back soon. It is bank holiday here in the UK next weekend, so I might have some time. So I've got a friend staying for a few days, but hopefully I'll have some time to jump on, and I'm hoping we'll have time to see the Fall Guy if it's still on at the cinema. But it seems to be on for, everything seems to be on for about 2 weeks, and then it's on streaming. So hey ho, have a fantastic week. Be good to each other. Take care. Enjoy the sunshine, and I'll see you soon. Bye.